I am not recognized, supported, sponsored, whatever, by any church whatsoever. The things I say do not reflect on them. You have to take what I say with a grain of salt. I could be wrong. You gotta do your own research. I also very well may offend people. I do not mean to, but I gotta say what I gotta say. This is, after all, my soapbox, and that's what it's for. I am going over the book of Matthew, doing a commentary. Often, before I do these videos on the book of Matthew, I will look at several written commentaries. I'm not going to tell you what they are. You're going to have to look up your own commentaries, do your own research. I am going to be reading the Bible. I'm using the NIV, the New International Version. Took me a moment there. This is my opinion. It is not the only opinion. Often other commentaries will disagree with what I say. Sometimes I will agree with what they say. It is what it is. I am not the only voice out there. I am not the end of all wisdom. Just be careful, I could be wrong. I am going over the book of Matthew, piece by piece. First, I'm going through chapter 1, verses 1 through 17. Taking a moment because I actually do have my Bible here in front of me. I'm not going to read all of this. I'll just read maybe a snippet, let's say. A record of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. This is important because the book of Matthew is written to the Jews. You have to remember, Jesus did come to the Jews first. Jews are the apple of God's eye, and they do need some convincing that Jesus is the Messiah. I believe there are actually over 200 prophecies in the Bible about Jesus being the Messiah. Well, about the Messiah, I should say. And Jesus meets all of them. So some of what the book of Matthew is going to do is go over those prophecies. One of them is that the Christ, the Messiah, will be from the line of the King of David. That is something that the book of Matthew goes over to prove. It says Abraham was the father of Isaac, Isaac the father of Jacob, Jacob the father of Judah and his brothers. And it lists out the whole thing, goes down to David, who is the direct descendant of Abraham. David was the father of Solomon, whose mother had Uriah's wife. Solomon, the father of Rehoboam, and it goes all the way down, all the way through to Jesus. The goal is to convince people, to convince the Jews specifically, that the Messiah is come. When we read the book of Matthew, we have to read it with the understanding that the Jews are the intended recipients of this message. We can read it. We can learn quite a lot from it. We just have to keep it in mind that it was written to convince the Jews that Jesus is the Messiah. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you for watching. Don't have to agree with what I say. Feel free to comment if you want to. But if you want to be rude, mean, vitriolic, then please go somewhere else, because this is my soapbox. Go get your own.